Oh my. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. A Kobe Bryant patch autograph. Woo! Number 4 of 10.
Hello to everyone watching and welcome back to my channel, Kobe Cards. I want to start by giving a huge thank you to everyone who's been supportive, whether you reached out or left a like or a comment on my first video. I really do appreciate all the support, so thank you so much. If you haven't yet checked it out, you can feel free and go watch that first. Otherwise, if you're seeing this and you are new to my channel, the vision for this channel is to celebrate and remember the career and life of Kobe Bryant as told through the lens of basketball cards. I've personally found this to be a lot of fun, even just going through my old cards and reading them. It gives a very different point of view on Kobe's career. It's really the perspective of what the card manufacturers and the companies are saying about Kobe. So it's like, what are they predicting or what are they calling out as his accomplishments, and what moments did they want to capture with his images? I also think we're going to learn a lot of random things as well along the way. It may feel like watching ESPN at times, where they definitely take the prize when it comes to embellishing and creating random narratives. I'll give you an example. You'll be watching a basketball game and suddenly they'll throw out like, wow, Kobe is the first player in NBA history to score exactly 31 points and have 8 or more rebounds while shooting 51.4% from the field or higher in 3 consecutive Tuesday night games when playing the Dallas Mavericks. And you'll just watch that and like read it and be like, okay, cool. And just think like, how in the world do they come up with this stuff? But as I've collected over 700 different Kobe Bryant cards, we're going to either remember or learn all of this stuff together. And with that being said, let's continue our journey and dive into the Kobe capsule yet again and see what we find today. All right, so it looks like we have 2 cards here, and these cards are going to be, for the most part, the same. It's Panini Excalibur 2015-2016. On the right-hand side here, we have the hobby version. And here on the left side, it's going to be a retail exclusive, light blue, they call it, parallel. You could also get these not just in hobby, but they also had these in the retail version as well. It's just that the light blue was retail specific only, so that was the only way that you can get this one. So since they are the exact same, I'll put one of them down here and we'll just take a look at this one going forward. So first thing you'll notice is the design is very, very simple. When I think of Excalibur, this isn't necessarily the design that comes to mind. I think it's a little bit on the weaker side. The Excalibur set in general was a little confusing to me. I remember growing up, like, they had all these products that failed, and then they created Excalibur in 2014-15 and put all these different products together, which were like their favorite cards from different sets. So I'll give you an example. Like, they took Team Titans from Titanium, which was a product that they discontinued. They took the Kaboom cards, which are very, very popular, from Innovation. And then they took the Crusades from Panini Crusades. And they just threw it all into Excalibur. And a few years later, they make it a little bit better because they'll start doing things with their insert sets like Night Court and Knights of the Round and things of that nature, which are more so themed towards like medieval and olden day type of feels. But when I look at these cards and the designs, I don't really see that. You can feel free to tell me or leave a comment if you think I'm being a little too harsh, but nothing really sells me on this design, for example. And I'll go to the back of the card now. which, again, not too much going on. It is card 100 of the set. You can see at the top. It was a 200 card set, and 50 of those 200 cards were actually rookies. And with Excalibur being a product that released towards the end of the season, it's a little surprising that they had that many rookies, because by the end of a rookie season, there's probably a lot of those rookies that have like no value. So it's really weird to have such a large set, but the set was on the larger side. So now I'm going to get straight into the quote. It's nothing personal, Portland, but Bryant does it to everybody. The Lakers legend has lit up the league during his spectacular career, but the team he averages the most points against is the Trailblazers. He dropped 21 on the Rose City squad on November 28, 2015, which brought his lofty career mark to them against to 27.6. So, first thing I want to point out, which I think is super interesting, is the number 21. It's like they chose a game where he scored below the average. So you'll see that on the average, he averages against them 27.6. But they chose a game where they're like, yeah, and as evidence of how good he is, here's an example of where he dropped 21. So not like the best example, but we'll go from there and talk about that a little bit. So first thing I want to say is, first thing you'll notice, all right. First thing is, when it comes to Kobe, nobody's going to be safe. So like the card says, no offense, Portland, but for this channel, you guys are going to be the first victims that we talk about on the long list of victims that, of teams that Kobe just torched throughout his career. Not only did Kobe torch you guys for what ended being for his career, so this card, his career wasn't finished yet. He ended up averaging 27.3 against you guys. But that was still his high for any team in the NBA. And the worst part of all is that he torched you guys most in the playoffs. So during Kobe's career, the Lakers went 5-0 in matchups against Portland. So can you imagine being a franchise that 5 times during this guy's career, you face him over and over and over and over and over again, and each time you lose? And again, even worse is that 4 of those 5 matchups were first round matchups. So he sent Portland packing over and over and over and over again in the first round, which just has got to be an awful feeling if you're a Portland fan and you're just reflecting on the career of Kobe. It's just a sort of like, you know, like, welcome to the playoffs, and we hope you enjoyed your stay. We'll see you again next time. So on top of that, another interesting stat is that, so originally in the NBA, each conference had 2 divisions. And when they expanded in 2004-2005 to have 30 teams in the NBA as opposed to 29, they actually shifted the divisions, and they did 3 divisions in each conference, and each of those divisions would have 5 teams. So during that reshuffle in 2004-2005, the Northwest Division was formed. And Portland is one of the 5 teams in this division. And if you look up Kobe's career stats, you'll notice that in the final 12 years of his career, which is basically the entire time the Northwest Division is active, Kobe Bryant averages 27.7 points against that entire division. So think to yourself, he averages 27.3 against Portland, which is the absolute best team in the NBA he averages against. But this entire division over the course of 12 years, he actually averages more against that division than he did against any individual team, which, again, may not make sense logically, but you have to remember that it was only during a 12-year period as opposed to his entire career. So in other words, during those 12 years, if you thought Kobe was absolutely thrashing Portland during his whole career, he especially thrashed them during the final 12 years of his career, because he had to obviously compensate for the fact that he had 27.7 for all of those years. So that is all I'm going to call out for these cards today. But I will be uploading images of these two cards to my Instagram, which is at Kobe Capsule. And feel free to follow me there and, take the path with me as we examine Kobe's life and Kobe's career and his accomplishments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time with more Kobe cards. Thanks.